Number 1. Good day, dear viewers of Intervlog, your window into Africa's most defining moments, where every word matters and every silence speaks volumes. Today we journey to the heart of Central Africa, to Cameroon, a nation standing at the edge of political transformation, uncertainty, and perhaps the dawn of a new era. The air in Yaoundé, Douala, Garoua, and Bamenda is thick with tension and anticipation. The streets echo with debates, songs of hope, and whispers of caution. And at the center of it all stands a man, Issa Tchiroma Bakary, presidential candidate of the National Salvation Front, or FSNC. On Saturday, Mr. Bakary stunned the political establishment when he publicly declared victory in Cameroon's just concluded presidential election. In his words, "I thank from the bottom of my heart the ministers and members of government who have personally called me to express their support." He spoke with confidence, poise, and a conviction that his words carried the weight of history. He claimed that even members of the High Command, senior figures within the armed forces, had reached out to pledge their loyalty not to a man or a party, but to the people of Cameroon. "History will remember those who chose the people rather than privileges," he said. For some, this sounded like a call to national renewal. For others, it was a signal of deep political division. Intervlog does not take sides, but it observes, and what we observe is that Cameroon is entering one of the most uncertain periods in its modern political history. In times of political crisis, words are not just sound, they are weapons or bridges. And Bakary's words have built both. He has called on journalists to remain impartial, saying, "Do not allow yourselves to be turned into instruments of disinformation for the sake of favors or positions." He reminded them that the youth are watching, that they must not become, as he put it, enemies of the people. At Intervlog, we echo that sentiment. Journalism must hold power accountable, not bow to it. Truth, not convenience, is the compass that guides free nations. And yet, even as these ideals are spoken, the reality on the ground grows more complex. Cameroon now finds itself divided between two powerful narratives. On one hand, the official provisional results, though not yet certified, show President Paul Biya, the nation's long-serving leader, in early lead. On the other hand, Issa Tchiroma Bakary, backed by the Union for Change, a coalition of opposition movements, claims that he has secured the people's mandate. He has vowed to release the original polling station reports, or PVS, that his campaign says were signed at polling sites across 18 key departments, representing nearly 80% of the electorate. Those names, Wuri, Mafundi, Diamare, Vina, Logone Echari, read like a map of Cameroon's soul. And from these places, he promises to publish proof. In Garoua, in the far north, supporters of Bakary have formed what they call civilian-led security units. They say their mission is to protect their leader and the truth of the ballot. "We will not let anything happen to him," they chant. But as emotions rise, so does unrest. The gendarmerie has reported protests in Jong, Garoua, and other cities. Property has been destroyed. Lives, sadly, have been lost. The National Council of Traditional Chiefs has called for restraint, reminding all sides that peace is fragile and must not be treated as expendable. Quand la maison brûle, on n'arrose pas le feu avec de l'huile. When the house is on fire, you don't pour oil on the flames. This French parable captures the moment perfectly. In other words, when tempers flare and truth is contested, adding anger only deepens destruction. The next few days in Cameroon will test the strength of its institutions. The National Commission for the General Counting of Votes has yet to release official results, and the Constitutional Council holds the final say. But what if the Council's verdict is rejected? What if the data Bakary promises to publish contradicts the official proclamation? Then Cameroon may face a crossroads, one between peaceful constitutional contestation and civil unrest. History has shown us that Africa's democracies often stand or fall on how they handle disputed elections. In Côte d'Ivoire, in 2010, 2 presidents claimed victory. In Kenya, 2007's electoral scarred a generation. In Zimbabwe in 2018, disputed tallies led Cameroon must not follow that path. Who is Issa Tchiroma Bakary? To many Cameroonians, he is no stranger. A seasoned politician, a survivor of several regimes, and a former government spokesperson under President Biya himself. His decision to now challenge Biya represents not only political ambition, but perhaps also a reckoning with the system he once defended. His message, "The future is in our hands," is resonating, especially among the youth who feel excluded from power. But is this message enough to overcome 42 years of entrenched political order? That remains uncertain. L'arbre ne tombe pas au premier coup de hache. The tree does not fall with the first strike of the axe. This parable reminds us that change, especially political change, often takes persistence and patience. So far, the government in Yaoundé has maintained a strategic silence. Official spokespeople insist that the electoral process is still underway and that only the Constitutional Council can declare a winner. Behind closed doors, however, the corridors of power are said to be buzzing with concern. If indeed some ministers have congratulated Bakary, as he claims, it suggests cracks within the ruling elite. If elements of the military have done the same, it hints at a subtle realignment of loyalties. But as history shows, between whispers of defection and actual change lies a wide gulf. Cameroon has long been described as a volcano that rarely erupts, simmering beneath layers of calm rhetoric and managed dissent. Today, the heat beneath those layers is unmistakable. Cameroon's stability matters not just to its 28 million citizens, but to the entire Central African sub-region. The country is a key member of CIMAC, a strategic trade hub, and a military partner in regional counterterrorism operations against Boko Haram. If Cameroon's political balance falters, the shockwaves could reach Chad, the Central African Republic, and even Nigeria's northeastern border regions. Quand l'arbre tombe, les oiseaux cherchent un autre abri. When the tree falls, the birds look for another shelter. Meaning, instability in one nation forces others to adjust, and sometimes to flee. At Intervlog, we recognize that elections are not the end of democracy. They are the beginning of accountability. Cameroon now faces a test of maturity, whether it can transition from electoral rhetoric to institutional truth. If the Constitutional Council handles this process transparently, it may restore public trust. If not, skepticism will deepen and unity will fracture. In the words of Bakary himself, "The times are grave, but hope is stronger." Hope, yes, but hope must be anchored in process, not passion. What happens next? In the coming days, Bakary's campaign is expected to release documents, the original PVS, to support his claims. The international community will be watching closely. If those documents align with official tallies, Biya's lead will solidify. If they differ, the pressure for an independent audit will grow. Civil society groups are already preparing petitions. Religious leaders are calling for national dialogue. And in the streets, ordinary Cameroonians are asking one simple question: who really won? The answer may come not from declarations or demonstrations, but from data, transparency, and courage. At Intervlog, we do not predict outcomes. We analyze patterns. And the pattern emerging from Cameroon is one familiar to many African democracies: a tension between the old order and the new aspiration. Paul Biya represents continuity, an era of stability, but also of stagnation. Issa Tchiroma Bakary represents change, an era of uncertainty, but also of renewal. Between these two forces lies the fate of Cameroon's democracy. La vérité est comme l'huile. Elle remonte toujours à la surface. Truth is like oil. It always rises to the surface. This proverb carries weight. It means that no matter how long it takes, the truth of this election will emerge, in votes, in documents, or in history's verdict. Regardless of who the next president becomes, the real challenge begins after the announcement. Can Cameroon's citizens remain peaceful? Can its institutions stay credible? Can the media avoid inflaming divisions? Zimbabwe in 2018 disputed tallies. Cameroon must not follow that path. These questions will define not just 2025, but the decade ahead. Les grandes nations ne se construisent pas sur la peur, mais sur la vérité. Great nations are not built on fear, but on truth. And truth, dear viewers, demands courage. Cameroon's story is a mirror for Africa, where long-serving leaders face rising tides of youth discontent, where opposition parties gain ground through digital mobilization, and where the demand for transparency grows louder by the day. The digital generation is watching and documenting. Every declaration, every video, every statement is being archived in real time. This is not 1982, this is 2025. In this new Africa, information travels faster than repression, and truth cannot be hidden behind state walls. From this point forward, several scenarios could unfold. The Constitutional Council confirms Biya's lead, and Bakary's camp challenges it legally. Bakary releases credible documents showing widespread irregularities, sparking calls for a recount or mediation. Security tensions escalate, prompting regional or AU intervention. Or perhaps a rare and peaceful compromise emerges, one where dialogue prevails over division. The next 7 days, as Cameroon awaits the final proclamation, will shape not only its leadership, but its legacy. Quand la poussière retombe, on voit qui marchait droit. When the dust settles, you see who was walking straight. In essence, truth will emerge when chaos ends. To our viewers across Africa and the world, Cameroon's unfolding story is not just about politics. It's about the soul of a nation struggling to redefine itself in a new century. Will it emerge more united or more divided? Will truth prevail, or will silence bury it once more? Time and courage will tell. For now, the world watches, breath held, as Cameroon stands before the mirror of its own democracy. From the Intervlog team, we call for peace, transparency, and respect for every Cameroonian's voice, from Yaoundé to Maroua, from Biya to Bertoua. And as always, we leave you with this thought. La paix est un arbre fragile. Il faut l'arroser chaque jour. Peace is a fragile tree. It must be watered every day. May Cameroon's tree of peace not fall, but grow stronger through justice, truth, and unity. This is Intervlog, Africa's voice, Africa's vision, Africa's vigilance. This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you for watching Intervlog. Thank you.